Good evening, all. I'm Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for election night. It is the 5th of November. Some of the states have already seen that the polls have closed there. We're seeing certain states declare the winners already, and I was watching Indiana, and it went Republican right off the bat. So we will see just what's going to happen. I warn you, the big thing you should be looking at also is what goes on in Congress. We have razor-thin races going on in both the House and the Senate. It can go either way. Let's see what happens. I don't expect to wake up in the morning and know who the president-elect is. I'll be surprised if that is the case, but we will see if that turns out to be things. So how do you play this tonight? Well, it's very difficult. You know that. You're playing emotion. You can see the stock market roaring early on in the evening, all right? So what's that saying? I guess that's one of the things you look at. I don't know what it's saying, all right? Is that a Trump win? It could be. Is it, hey, the race is over and that's the good news, and whoever wins, the stock market's going on its own way? I'm more in that camp. When we take a look at what's going on right now in the energy markets, well, we saw some API numbers come out after the close, and I viewed them as pretty much neutral. What I am looking at, though, are bonds and notes, and they're again adding yield to the marketplace. That, to me, is another. What do you do with that? Does that mean another Trump win? Because I would think that he's going to cause interest rates, if he wins, to go up. I don't know. It's a guess. Foreign currency markets are everywhere at this hour, but the dollar's gaining. As you can see, you're down 60 points in the euro, so that's all that I can read from it, what everybody else is pretty much doing. I'm reading stories where people are worried that tonight and tomorrow that they're going to see certain trade platforms probably clog up as traders just start trading like mad tomorrow off the fact that we're out of this right now. That could well be the case. In terms of the day's news, believe me, it's not going to mean diddly. You've got the U.S. Bankers Association. They'll come out with all their indices. We know interest rates are higher. There'll be no surprises there. It's not going to look pretty. At least that's my guess. The EIA petroleum estimates will come out at 9:30, but this is the key, the U.S. vote results. And as I said, we'll have an idea of Congress. All right? I don't know about the presidency, but that much I do believe that we're going to have. So I think you want to pay attention to that. When you look at, let's go to the gold chart. On a closing basis, you're down 0.1% at this point on the week. So here we go in the Wednesday, midweek, and the market just about unchanged for the week. When you look at the bar chart, tell me, how do you read that and try to do anything with it? This is why I have been telling traders it's a good time. I'm glad I went when I did it for my 5 days last week. I got itchy fingers. I want to start pulling the trigger here. So I'm looking at my bullish gold. I am long term. I think it's going to go. I think that the market was going to come into the 18-day average and fight a battle. And now you wait for the initial reaction of the presidency election. You can see how the market came back, just sitting sort of here, and momentum turning down. No surprises at all. If you look at the weekly chart, it's much friendlier than the daily. When we look at the gold-silver ratio, still climbing, which means silver losing to the gold market. And you see that pretty much on the chart right here. Market still pointing down, not in oversold territory just yet, but knocking on the door of that. In the copper market, no surprise to me at least that the copper market's rallying during this period where we're about to hear whatever China's going to do. Now, I did scour everything I could read about China, and I'm not seeing that they've done anything yet to move the markets one way or the other in terms of this 4-day meeting that they're having to tell us how they're going to get their economy going. So should be interesting. Market did nice job of holding, if you look at it, the 100-day average. Now you're up to the upper Bollinger Band, the resistance area, and got overbought at the same time. Platinum also trying to hold the 100-day average. I expect resistance, at least an attempt at it, at the 18-day average of closes. And I would assume tonight, looking at 60 points lower in the euro currency at this hour, that you're going to be nicely higher, big time higher in the dollar index. We will see how that works out. You can see how the market coming in was coming down. I would assume a support starts at 103.14 down to 102.68 in the Bollinger Band. But again, it's going to be emotion tomorrow as to how these markets want to move. And now you're down 77 points in the euro. Remember, that makes up about 57% of the dollar index, so the dollar should get a big time jump when it reopens. Again, it's all about emotion, my friends. It's about people on the sidelines. This is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. The amazing thing, and I want to repeat in the metals, gold has held up during this whole time that the dollar has been super strong and interest rates going up. That does not mean it can do that forever, but it is something you got to think about. I'll give you something that I think you want to look at, though. If there were a classic day you look at pivot points, it's tomorrow. And what happens in pivot points is you found the center line, it's called the pivot point, and you find sell numbers above it, buy numbers below it, and I put together a course to show you how that works itself out. And it's primarily a day trading tool. And if you put it on your chart software, just about any good piece of charting software out there will have this in it. What it does from there is you start figuring out a game. What I did different is in my series, I teach how to use momentum with it, which very few people show you. I think that's pretty important. Just go to irapstein.com, go under the word free offers. It's not under courses, it's under free offers on the left side of the website. You can't miss it. Or click up here, it'll take you into the free offer section. I'm Ira Epstein. I can't wait to talk in the morning about the update as to at least where we're at that point in time. But as I said, I will be very surprised if we wake up and we have a president-elect. Have a good evening.